All right, what is going on today, guys? Welcome to the first episode of the Engagement Corner, a podcast about music production, and today it features the reviewer of the most hated audio tools.
Thanks for having me.
I got a million questions to ask here. I'm just gonna try to take it from like a logical start here. How would you describe what you do on your channel?
I usually make fun of like electronic musical instruments. And it is also a celebration of those. So it's a love letter to most of these. And it's based on the fact that electronic musical instruments are a very emotional thing. And a lot of these receive quite some controversy on the internet. And I feed off this controversy.
Like a monster. I feed off it like a monster.
I mean, the thing is there's so much like negativity in there and stuff, and I try to turn it into something positive in the funniest way possible.
With a show named Bad Gear, ironically.
Yeah, I mean it's the internet after all. I hate the game, not the player.
It's definitely attention grabbing. Like I know I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit here, but I know the first one I actually saw from you was the Teenage Engineering one, and I always feel like Teenage Engineering had never gotten enough shit. At least like, you know, the past few years, maybe a little more so in the past year or so. Like ever since they did the table, I feel like they've gotten a lot more shit, but I feel like for a long time they weren't really getting that much shit.
Teenage Engineering in particular is more like a design company, not exactly like a music tech brand. I mean, they are a music tech brand as well, but it's mostly about the design, I think.
Yeah, that's a good point. Speaking of the design, what do you think of the design of their desk?
I really want to do an episode about the desk, and I want to do a collab with BOBEAT.
That's funny. I can cross off one of these questions here. That was another question I had here. How would you even like properly review the table? Do you compare it to other tables? I'm sure there's a lot. You're gonna have a lot of content for like the little section where you have all the comments pop up. For anyone who doesn't know, Teenage Engineering released a desk that I believe is like $1,400. It's way more. It's just like a basic desk. It's just a basic desk.
I don't think you can review that desk like seriously. I don't think that works. It needs to be something weird, like me hanging out in Sweden.
Yeah,
like somewhere in the countryside of Sweden in Bo's backyard. And
see, I was gonna say a good way to review it. Actually, I feel like would be to just do the stupidest things possible, like, you know, testing how much weight can go on it. Like we're gonna stress test it with the weight. We're gonna you know, then maybe like it cuts to like, you know, backyard wrestling, like trying to like somebody like
do some like ASMR style eating on the desk.
Yeah.
I already talked to Bo about that, and he said that he wants to get the table, which would give me a perfect excuse to have a tax deductible vacation in Sweden.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see. That's good. It's funny, we jumped ahead quite a bit here. I want to start with some more like basic questions, like you know, like do you wipe standing or sitting? Like drug of choice.
Are these two questions somewhat connected?
No. I have like extremely basic questions here and like some like weird ones like that. Then I have some like really deep like niche referencing like either drama or like just something audio related. Let's
start with a basic one. I want to know what you have there.
Like just really basic stuff here. Like what does the name AUDIOPILZ mean? Like what is the...
It's very simple. It's audio. You like audio. And my family name is Pilz, which... Fun fact means mushroom in German.
You thought really hard about that name.
I gave it a lot of thought, and I ended up with the most obvious thing because I wanted to have it connected to my name in a way, but have an excuse to say that's somebody else as well.
I kind of had a feeling it was something simple like that, but I was just like, yeah, I don't know. So like, I figure people probably do want to know.
And it has nothing to do with beer. It's mushrooms.
Okay. Well, my girlfriend wants to know what's in your vinyl collection. What did you say that was? Strawberry Jam. Strawberry Jam.
Yeah. Animal Collective.
Great record.
So next time I just gotta get you like in-ear monitors so you can just like...
If you take a look at the texture of the cover, it's more strawberry-ish.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Just trying to hear in the headphones. Obvious question here. How long have you been producing? I'm gonna guess like at least... It's got to be at least 15 years, right?
That depends on what you consider to be producing. Because I'm so old that when I started producing meant a completely different thing.
Playing a musical instrument into a computer or like using some sort of hardware with the intention of making music. I guess like audio engineering would count too. Just some sort of like...
I started at the age of 15.
Okay.
which is like 1,000,000 years ago. I'm in my mid-40s, so it's 30 years basically.
Yeah, I keep my age like a little bit secret because I'm kind of like, I know like the kids are probably like, if they find out my real age, they're gonna be like, oh, this guy's not cool anymore. He's old. This guy's just like Rick Beato. This guy's gonna be like Rick Beato in a few years.
I mean, my audience is maybe a few months older than yours at average. So yeah, they see me as one of theirs. I think.
This is pretty fucking cringe. Sure. God damn it. That was hard to say right there.
You watch like lessons in meme culture.
No. I'm just saying, like, I like go on Twitter a lot and stuff like that, and I kind of like just like I like see new meme formats as they come out and stuff like that. Wait, what is it called? Velociraptor? I've seen that one in one of them, like, or even several times, and that's a meme from like
2006.
Yeah, like 20 years ago, maybe, like almost 20 years ago.
The thing is, I talk about a lot of musical instruments that are really old. Like really old. Some of them are like 40 years old. Like I would say that most of them are at least 10 years old. And as I am dealing with like the whole socio-cultural environment that surrounds those instruments, I think it's okay to have like vintage memes in there.
Yeah. I think it's like a meme in itself, and how fast and how frequent the memes are too. Like, was that like something by design? Like, because I know that has to help with watch time, like for sure. There's no way that has to help, because people will like rewind it and stuff like that. And the fact that there's so many things, like, it keeps it engaging.
The thing is that when I started the channel, I was mostly an offline person. I was not like chronically terminally online, and I was like somewhat annoyed by many aspects of internet culture, as a broad term. And the thing is that when I started the channel, I started to embrace it in a way. And at one point, I thought about, okay, how far can I push it? And it's like just, okay, trying out how far I can push it, and I just stayed there in a way. And I like it because it has... You have like that level of like information stuff that I talk. Then you have the level of actual content that is atop of this, and then you have like even if you don't get what I'm talking about, and even if you're not interested in what the actual content of the additional content is, you have some kind of like psychedelic experience.
A psychedelic meme experience. Like an assault of memes. Like, that's basically essentially what it is. If you just like if you just watch and don't listen, like it's like an assault of memes. Like, it's just like a barrage. Just like
I have like a background in theater, and I worked with a lot of like modern directors, like contemporary directors, let's put it this way, and a lot of them were working that way, to just like throw in stuff until it gets so oversaturated with meaning and content and visual impressions and stuff like that. So it transcends to another level of like experiencing things.
You won't really know until you try something sometimes, you know, like if it's going to be like funny or if it's a good idea or whatever.
One thing you've mentioned, that the meme formats are like kind of old, and they truly are. But the thing is, from time to time I throw in one of the like stuff that is like hot at the moment, and people don't even recognize it as a meme.
That's funny. Like, if I put a meme in a video, I'm like, that one's too old or whatever. Like, I'm always like overthinking it. But like sometimes they could be funny, like even if it's like old.
I think that memes are like the iconography of the internet. It's like especially with the old ones that everybody knows, it's like it sets a trigger.
So you're saying you do believe in analog warmth?
No.
Okay.
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't really care either. I don't. Yeah. I mean, I do care, but I prefer digital colds. I wrote that down. So stupid.
The sound is one thing, and there are a few like analog instruments who have like really one of a kind sound. I don't want to mess with people's preference for like old vintage gear or like high-end modern analog synthesizers or whatever it is in the end. But the thing is that the primary difference is in how you approach them and how you operate them and how you integrate them in your workflow. Like if you work with some kind of like big fat analog synthesizer, be it a Moog, be it a whatever it is, if you have like old oscillators that don't tune properly and they go out of tune and all that stuff, you have to deal with that, and that changes the way you make music. So that, not that I'd need that for like every genre, and I would be really annoyed to have to deal with like tuning multiple oscillators every time I do a jam and like having the whole drift thing. That's fun from time to time, but I wouldn't want to have that on a daily basis.
Okay, we're gonna get slightly more interesting here. What is the worst piece of gear you've ever featured, in your opinion?
The Akai MPX8 is the worst piece of gear I've ever had the displeasure to use, simply because it just doesn't work. It would be great to have an instrument like this that just like is able to fire samples without any fuss. Put like a memory card in there, hit a button, fire sample. That would be great to have, like simple, cheap, robust, all that. But it just doesn't work.
I'm just thinking how, I don't know, it's funny how this is like the opposite of an ad.
I think they still have like 2 warehouses full somewhere in Japan.
This thing, yeah. Okay, yeah. This is garbage.
Regularly, people ask me if there is something similar, and there isn't, if you don't want to use like a phone or whatever.
Yeah, I get the appeal, but I think the thing is like when you're making something this small and like this purpose, when it's only $100, it can't function. Like there's no way it can like meet what it's trying to do.
It's just like they messed up the software and they never fixed it.
Okay, so what is the best piece of gear? Like if there's something I should go out and get right now, do not say Behringer. Do not say Behringer.
No, you know that you have to satisfy Uli in a way. The thing is, if you don't have any like sound producing gear, you probably should go for something that is truly unique and that does things in a way that are really hard to emulate with software. And there are, of course, quite a few. I mean, the one that comes to mind immediately is something like that.
Yeah.
Which is like a DSI Evolver, which is, it's from hell.
Okay, so I need to go to hell to get this first piece of gear.
It's borderline dysfunctional. It's a weird mix of like digital and analog stuff, and it's almost impossible to use. And every time I switch it on, it sounds like magic.
That sounds annoying, but also really interesting. And
you have like all the streamlined stuff in your DAW. Why would you get something that's similarly streamlined for your hardware setup, or maybe get something like an old Electribe, because they're super fun and they're super cheap, like an EM1 or an ER1. ER1 is super nice. Like it's really unique sounding, super fun to use. It's got a lot of groove because the sequencer is so messed up. The timing of the sequence is off the whole time.
Okay.
So it sounds like a drummer on drugs. I like using that. It's got a fantastic swing. Like the swing is super unique. Stuff like that is super interesting. They released the ER1 for like as a plugin, but I would probably still stick to the hardware there. Yeah.
It sounds like it would be better as hardware.
Yeah, I mean everything that gives you an experience, software can't. I mean, it's nice. It's nice to I like the idea of like buying a super high-end fine synthesizer as the centerpiece of your setup that it sounds super sweet and you use it for all the primary sounds of your arrangement. But I would probably go for something weird.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna start getting into the weirder questions now here. Okay, okay, so I always see you commenting that you love Uli Behringer, and you're troll. You have to be trolling, right? Like,
the thing is that my views on Uli Behringer work on many different layers.
Yeah.
First of all, he is a truly visionary businessman.
Yeah. No, I could definitely agree. Yeah,
he's up there with the greats like Elon Musk and stuff like that. I mean, he's in a niche, but he's up there with people who are considered to be like really good at what they're doing. The next thing is that he is one of the rare cases. He's not only a good businessman, but he's also he knows his stuff on a technical level. He can build a synthesizer himself. He's capable of doing this because we know, because he did. He's got a company that has like a reputation of being evil. I mean, it's a company, after all.
I do find him and Behringer in itself very interesting because it's like the most fuck you and for fuck everyone else except for the customer sort of, at least that's the way it appears, sort of mentality. Like you don't see that with other businesses. Honestly, I think if they weren't such assholes, like I don't think they would get that much shit. Like I feel like if they just were not dicks about it and then just like, I don't think people would even have that big of a deal of them like copying other products or like not maybe not copy, cloning, whatever you want to call it.
I don't want to comment on like the whole cloning thing. I don't really have an opinion on that. It's just like not really fun to do something with or about Behringer.
Yeah, it's more so just for value.
I did a few videos on Behringer stuff, and I always had the impression, I don't know if it was necessary, I always had the impression that I have to be very, very careful what and how I say it.
You're afraid of getting sued?
No, it's not. People got sued for stuff, so that's not too far fetched. And the thing is that after the last Behringer video I did about like that 303 thing that I barbified, I released the video between Christmas and New Year because I assumed that the lawyers would be on a vacation there. And yes, because I more or less implied that I had like a romantic relationship with Uli Behringer and stuff like that.
Okay. I don't say Behringer the way you say it. The way you say it, it's just like, wow. Like I almost want to copy paste the way you say it and just replace it with like whenever I say it, because you say it so well. Behringer. I can't do it. I'm just gonna say it like a white guy from the South. Behringer. For people who don't know, in the past they have actually sued forum users. They lost.
They sued Ben Jordan, or threatened to sue.
They threatened to sue him. Yeah. I actually got a threat to be sued by what's his name? The guy that owns Acoustica Audio.
Okay.
Yeah, I never made a video about it, huh?
What did you say?
Yeah, I don't have nothing to say. I'm not gonna say anything. No, but like I had made a video talking about their whole like drama with R2R. Like R2R like cracked their software and they found a bunch of like bloat in it, and then they were basically like having a back and forth. Like it was really interesting. I don't know if you saw this video, but they were having a back and forth with the developers via like the notepad files that, you know how they leave like the pirating notes. Yeah. Like they were doing like leaving them notes in there, and they're going back and forth with different like plugins and stuff like that, and they're cracking all their plugins, and they're like basically saying like, I don't know, it was interesting drama. Like I thought it was really interesting. There was like a screenshot floating around of him like threatening to sue me because of it was a thumbnail in particular. It was the thumbnail. I never made a video about it because I was kind of just like, I don't want to like antagonize him further, you know what I mean?
The thing is that after this like TD3 episode, when they came back from the Christmas holidays, after the first week of January, they posted a link to the video. So although I was like telling Uli Behringer to do whatever he pleases, it was like, okay, now I'm like, it's an ad. It has become an ad. I'm never gonna do a Behringer video again.
That's funny.
Just reviewing Behringer stuff.
It's not interesting. It's just not interesting. Like the whole, I'll say it since like you don't want to like the whole cloning or getting inspiration for something else like kind of takes the interest factor out of something.
Way back when I had like 200 subscribers, I did like a Behringer challenge where I like made a setup of like Behringer stuff for like $100. So like the whole production environment, including sound cards and all that, for $100, including microphones, mixing console, FX units, you name it. I did that back then, which didn't cost that much fuss because the channel was so small. And then I did like the Model D, like the Moog, Mini Moog clone, because that caused quite a stir back in the day when they released this one, because nobody thought it was possible in that way, and they just did it. And in all honesty, I mean the Model D by Behringer, that's a proper synth. That sounds really nice. I don't want to talk shit about that. And then I did the TD3 because there were like memes around about like the Barbie synthesizer and stuff like that, and also like the rise of the great Sarah Sommer's Bimbo Princess and stuff like that. And so I designed this like Barbie 303, yeah. And now I think I'm done with Behringer.
I'm gonna get off Behringer here in a second. But okay, wait. Top 5 things you love about Uli.
Uli, well, he's Uli. That's like asking what you love about God.
Yeah. Just I only have positive things to say. I have great things. He's a great guy. Great business.
Yeah. He's got the best lawyers in the world.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Have you experienced the Behringer Army before? Have you experienced the Behringer Bros? I should say.
The Behringer Bros. I think they didn't really got the joke of the videos I made about Behringer stuff, so they are not anti. There's not like an anti-AUDIOPILZ resentment in the Behringer fanboys community.
It's funny because like I've had like a mixed experience with it. Like that one recent video I did, like I feel like that one got kind of misinterpreted because I was kind of more so trying to talk about the story, but like I felt like the title of the story wasn't that good, so I kind of like it's kind of a little bit clickbait just the way I formed it, like not formed it, but the way I like framed it. You know what I mean? Like because the way you like title and put the thumbnail, it really changes the framing and the way people perceive it. I felt like people were like taking it kind of the wrong way, and like bro, they went crazy in that video. Like I almost had more comments than likes. Like I think it was like neck and neck. Like it has like 1,000 of each or something like that. Like it's something insane. And I've talked about Behringer's stuff in the past, like the dramas and you know whenever there was like news or like drama regarding the news, and like they were relatively like they didn't go that hard in those other ones, but that one for some reason, oh man, dude.
You went full on Rick Beato.
Yeah, but oh man. Are you talking about like how Rick Beato like lately like?
Yeah, I mean there's this huge fuss at the moment because of like these 2 videos about music sucks today because I'm old. The remarkable thing is that Rick Beato with these 2 videos managed that I am like the first time in my life of the same opinion as this Fantano guy.
I actually like Fantano, weirdly. Like his content, like I don't really care that much about like album reviews in general. I do love when he like goes in on an album though, like when he gives it like a bad review, because those are like really like I wouldn't want to be the artist getting reviewed, but it's like watching like a car crash or something like that, but like one of the cars is like one of those like Twisted Metal vehicles or something. I
don't see the world as he does, but he's extremely good at what he's doing.
Last Behringer question here. Have you experienced? Okay. I know you're excited about these.
Yeah, keep them coming. Okay,
have you experienced Uli's bubble bath of sound?
Oh, yeah. Come on. I think. Yeah, I mean, we are part of the synth mafia. Nobody will believe us anyway.
From what I've heard, I have Behringer derangement syndrome, and I need a good cleansing of Uli's bubble bath of sound. That's what they've been telling me.
The thing is that I would not like restrict that to Uli's private bubble bath of sound. I think that like having like a big fat analog synthesizer there with like all that nuances between where otherwise would be like digital values. This can be a life-changing experience, and it can have a spiritual impact on people. And I mean, as you've talked about publicly, you stop self-medicating. This definitely helps.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. Yeah, if it's a Behringer or something else, like get yourself like a knobby big.
Any bubble bath the sound will do.
I think I'm somewhat agnostic when it comes to sound bubble baths.
All right, so okay, this is an interesting one here. So I feel like you could be harsher with your criticisms. I think that is intentional. Like especially when I'm noticing like from like the way you want to dance around talking about Behringer here. I feel like you're just trying to avoid. I think you're trying to avoid a lawsuit.
No. This is not the as I've talked about in the beginning. I think that, and this is there might be a misunderstanding for some people here. I don't hate any gear. I am more or less, I'm incapable of hating some kind of like music tech equipment. It makes no sense to me. I mean, I'm emotionally attached to some pieces of gear, mostly in a positive way, but I'm just reflecting on the hate of others. That's all I do, and I think it's essential to be. I mean, you can't be, of course, but to try to be impartial in a way.
Yeah, definitely. I guess what like brought me to that question, I'm kind of circling back here. You know how I talked about the first video I saw from you was about a teenage engineering product. Yeah, I think it was OP1. Yeah, I can't remember exactly.
Yeah.
I guess like when I first saw it like being recommended, I was like, oh dude, somebody's gonna rip into the OP1. Like I was excited because it said bad gear in the title too. I was like, oh dude, I guess it kind of sets up like a huge expectation. I guess like I was disappointed a little bit in that way, but I came out of it like experiencing something different, and I did like your videos like when I saw them. You know what I mean? I guess like just like my first expectation from the title, I was just like, whoa, like this is gonna be like ruthless, you know what I mean? Like he's gonna get on screen and start destroying it. Like he's gonna like, you know what I mean? Like I was expecting like something insane, but what I got was still great.
Thank you so much. The thing is with the OP1 and like many teenage engineering products, not all of them, is that they are very good products.
Like it just seems like a lot of stuff is overpriced. I think that's like overpriced in terms of like, you know, if you're looking at it from like what this can do versus what other things can do, like you're more so paying for like the, you know, the brand essentially, kind of like, yeah, you know, Apple sort of thing.
Have you ever been to like a Scandinavian country?
No.
I think that's making products like this is like a logical step if you come from that culture. I think it's mostly a cultural thing, and I mean like price levels are also pretty high there. So even if it seems like quite a chunk of money you have to spend on that thing, it might not be such an extreme amount of money for somebody from that country. Yeah.
Do you ever worry that you're gonna run out of bad gear to review?
Never.
Not at all. You're not worried at all.
Never.
Because I did notice like there's been a few plugins in there and like some things I'm like, is that really bad gear? Like.
Yes, I mean that's a philosophical question.
Yeah,
I would say.
Bad is subjective, you know.
I mean, if you have like a plugin in a box, like many digital synthesizers are, or if you're like reviewing the actual plugin, for example, if you like take the whole like Roland system one, for example, they have like this plug out functionality where you can like open one of their Roland Cloud plugins within the hardware synthesizer. It's not really, at least on a sonic level, not really a difference between one thing or the other. So I thought that it was funny because now as professional like synth plugins are out there for over 20 years now, and I find it interesting that quite a few of like the old school VST synthesizers or AW synthesizers or whatever, they have like taken the same role as some hardware synthesizers have taken in the 90s. For example, like I described Serum as the DX7 of the 2010s. Because the DX7 was so dominant in the 80s and it was every record, and everybody was like somewhat drawn to that sound, but also like pissed off with the sound. And it's completely different technology, completely different musical styles, but like the Serum does socio-culturally the same.
Yeah, I get it.
So as soon as there's a story to it, it's kind of interesting for bad gear.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Okay, I got one here. Would you do a bad gear episode on Meow Synth?
That's a good question.
Could you? Is there enough content there? I don't know if you could. It would be a short episode, I think. Like there's not a lot to it, but it would be good in terms of like meme. Like there's a lot of meme potential there.
I thought about doing one on Delay Llama.
I was gonna say that too. Yeah, that was the other one.
That's I would have to like give it a try, or maybe like do the episode about that there is not enough meat on that bone. I don't know. Maybe reverse the joke in a way.
Yeah. I guess what kind of brought me to that one too was the Teenage Engineering Wooden Choir. I like that episode a lot. That one I thought was
Thank
really
you.
interesting. Have you ever thought of doing a spin-off named Good Gear?
I thought about doing Red Gear.
Oh, that's good. I like that. I like that.
I thought about doing Red Gear, and I already have like a Red Gear logo. But the thing is that after doing this for a few years now, I came to the conclusion that having like this overarching topic or brand is nice for being like recognized in the first place, but for actually like triggering the algos and being successful on YouTube and getting videos out there that are like watched by a wider audience, it's more of a hindrance.
Yeah, yeah. You're saying like if you put it as Rad Gear, like you'd be worried.
Yeah. I would probably if I'd do a Red Gear episode in that kind of like in that realm, I would probably not call it Red Gear now. I would just like put out a video saying, okay, this is the most awesome my ass. I have no idea. Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
So we can do what we want now because the producer's at sleep.
I feel like this is a dumb question, but I'm assuming you edit your own videos.
Yes.
Yeah, like it has like a very like personal sort of editing feel to it. Like it's in every episode is like someone edited the same.
The thing is that it turned out to be such a big it plays such a big role in like the whole in the entire like artistic expression thing of a Bad Gear episode that I can't like. Yeah, I would probably have to like teach somebody to do it the way I do it to get the same impression as a viewer.
Yeah, I could definitely see that because like I feel like the more you edit, the more personal it gets, and then it can get more technical and like more related to whatever field it's like, you know, like for instance in audio. And then like if somebody is not as in the know with whatever the product is or you know, or just the culture in general, then it can be a lot harder to do those, you know, those edits that you probably would have thought of.
The thing is that I've established a workflow and a process of producing an episode that they edit themselves now, more or less. It's just like as soon as like all the content that goes into an episode is there, the editing is a very, very like small technical process. I just have to insert a few like custom layers in there to get like, okay, my face is in the right now, my face is in the middle now, I'm big, I'm small, like all that stuff is just like there, and it's more or less a result of all the files that are like on my timeline.
This one's an interesting one. I feel like I've never seen a sponsor in your video, and that has to be by design, right? Like you purposely.
I mean, the thing is that there are a few people who work at manufacturers who get the idea of Bad Gear. Who know that I'm not their enemy, and I most probably won't hurt their sales unless they mess it up completely, which they sometimes do. And it is somewhat hard to explain the whole concept to somebody wearing a suit who has no interest in the whole like thing.
I mean, have you thought about doing like sponsored segments, so you could just talk about like something like momentarily in a video? Because there's probably, I'm assuming your emails got to be just like.
Nope, nobody ever contacted me.
In the audio community, like they're mostly looking for like integrated sponsors where it's like, you know, like you use a product in the video and something like that. They pay a lot more for that, but it's like it's really gets in the way of the content a lot of the time. Like I'm actually going to do a video like that, and I'm just kind of like, oh shit, dude. Am I gonna get a lot of backlash for this? It's not a review though.
That's one thing. I would be totally willing to take the money, of course, like more or less everybody would do. The thing is, like, having a 1 minute ad read in a Bad Gear episode just doesn't work.
Yeah, it would also probably like really mess with the like just the flow. Unless you did it in a way where the pacing was the same for that and it was smooth. But I could see that being difficult.
And the thing is, usually those ad reads are like pre-set for, so you get a sheet of paper that says, yeah, say this. No, nobody would believe this.
Yeah.
Just nobody will believe this.
So-
And the thing is, I'm also, maybe it's because I'm European and we are not as pestered with ads as you are in the US. There's some kind of reluctance in my culture to engage in stuff like that, because we here in like Austrian television you can still like watch a whole movie without ads.
Yeah.
Which is completely mind-boggling for a lot of like people in the US.
Normalized here, like, dude, like
Yeah.
you will pay for a subscription for like not I don't think Netflix does it, but Hulu does it. I think Max also does it too. They have like cheaper subscriptions where they still give you ads. You're paying and they give you ads, so they're double dipping on you. Like, and they're probably making more off of that than they would be for just you paying for the without the ads.
Yeah. And the thing is, when I was in the US for the first time, and I was like hanging out in some kind of motel room somewhere in Arizona, and there was like Terminator 2 on, and it took them 4 hours to show the movie because of all the ads.
You are gonna love the integrated sponsor video that I'm working on. I'm gonna be like pretending like I'm like, you know, like I've come up, I'm like flexing on everyone, like I'm gonna have like some wine, I'm gonna be smelling the wine, like.
But somebody who's doing that really well is Nakey Jakey.
Oh yeah.
Nakey Jakey always has like these bits with like Jakey and Jakey where he's like 3 lawyers, like shilling the whole thing, and then it's back to the video, and it's more or less not him doing it.
Yeah, I've seen some other people do that too. There's like really creative ways to do ad reads. It's like almost like self-aware. Like if you can kind of take away the whole like, hey, I'm presenting this to you, buy this, just the whole like I'm doing this for money sort of thing. If you can kind of remove people away from that, it doesn't feel as weird.
I thought about like as like many podcasts are doing it, like they are like drinking whatever on the show that gives them money. So I thought that like chugging Red Bulls in a Bad Gear episode would be totally spot on.
Yeah.
Because it's also like an Austrian brand, and I definitely come across like I'm chugging Red Bull all the time. So
Yeah, same.
It would be kind of like believable.
I actually drink like a lot of coffee before I film, like, and it's usually not as bad like late at night, for instance, like it's like 11 here, but like usually I drink a lot of coffee, and some people will think I'm like on drugs because like I've like how much coffee I will drink. I have like stutter too, but like I naturally stutter.
Yeah.
But okay, anyways, I still think you should let me do your memes. Like I do think like at least one episode.
No,
free of charge.
I would be totally canceled.
You would not be canceled.
No.
I would run it by you.
I have complete trust in you being a meme lord. Like contemporary meme lord, in contrast to me being like the boomer retro vintage meme lord. But come on, no.
Dude, it would be really funny. It would be so funny if we actually had done that, and then like everyone in your audience is just like, these memes suck. I did not understand a single thing. Like they're just like, this is the worst episode ever.
Yeah, but the question that I'm asking myself, what kind of like electronic musical instrument would it be? Because it would need to fit the electronic musical instrument that I would be talking about in that episode.
Like one of those like meme synths that we're talking about, like the software ones, like Meow Synth or Delay Llama. Like I feel like I could get a lot of mileage out of something like that.
Yeah, but the problem is those are old again. So it would not fit like conceptually. I mean, Delay Llama is 20 years old, so I think that probably the memeage would be more fitting if it was from that time. Yeah. Maybe that Miku pedal. I think that would probably work out pretty well.
Have you gone to NAMM before?
I've never been to NAMM though.
Okay, you think you're going to go to NAMM 2025?
I mean, is it any good?
It kind of is. Like, I mean, it depends. It really depends. Like, so if you're looking for actual gear, like new stuff, like stuff that no one's heard about yet, usually a lot of the announcements come out like right before it's happening or like while it's happening. So there's not like a whole lot of surprise, or quite often companies will be promoting something that they've already announced or has come out in the past few months or whatever. So like the gear and the software and stuff, like that's decent. Like sometimes you'll see some new stuff. I mean, I've only gone 1 year, but like from my experience in, I think it was 2023. Or was it 2022? No, it's 2022. Yeah. From my experience, like you'll see some new stuff that's like okay. What's actually cool though is meeting like the other music YouTubers and like just seeing people you've like seen online but seeing them in real life, or like maybe like someone from like a brand will like talk to you and then you'll like have a few drinks with them or something like that. It's more so like the networking, not really the networking because that makes it sound like artificial, but like more so like the social aspect is what I found to be really fun. I had some very interesting interactions though, like with other YouTubers. Like
you met Ben.
Yes. I met Ben in person there. Yeah, that was cool. No, that was great. But like just people who I've like had in videos before and stuff like that,
Andrew
like
Huang?
reacted. No, not Andrew. I didn't see Andrew Huang. No, it was Sanjay C and his wife. Sanjay C was really cool, but his wife was like a little more like I don't know. She did not appreciate the video that I made. It was really funny though. I thought it was really funny. A lot of people did think that video was really funny, but like I don't know. Maybe it's just like a different culture thing. Like,
but it goes beyond like music production. It's like all the other factors, technical factors of the music industry, like live sound and all that stuff.
Yeah. There's tons of stuff. There's like guitars. There's like you'll see like new like, so if you're not like completely up to date on everything, like you'll see some new stuff for sure.
Because it reminds me a bit of like Musikmesse in Frankfurt, which was like the most important like event for stuff like that, and it's dead.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if it's on still, but nobody goes there anymore if it's still on. This is like, it's especially the whole like music production and synthesizer and electronic music thing is SUPERBOOTH only. And SUPERBOOTH is like mind-bogglingly good.
Like what was like I'm assuming it's like really similar. I've heard it's better now than NAMM, but like was the best part just like the whole social aspect? I'm assuming it was.
The thing is that I mean Berlin is crazy, of course, and in a although it's a rather rough city for like European standards, it's much more like friendly than an American city in its roughness, and the whole like premises on where SUPERBOOTH happens are like you won't believe it. It's so great. It's more or less a forest in the middle of the city.
I didn't see your video. I saw a little bit of it.
We had like great weather too, but there are lakes and there are like Olympic length pools where you can swim, and there is like an astronaut school on premise, and it's like this fabulous building from it's more or less a communist building from the Eastern German times, and they like put all the money they had back then into this one project. And they have like a small like steam train on premise and stuff.
This sounds awesome. This sounds really cool. That sounds. It's. I mean, NAMM's like where NAMM. I mean, I don't know where they're holding it now, but where they held it the year I went, I think it was like the Anaheim Convention Center or something like that. It's huge, but it doesn't have like a steam train or anything. Nothing like that.
And you shouldn't forget that like the whole SUPERBOOTH thing is organized by Schneider, and they are like the main distributor and retailer for like modular style gear in Germany. So they are true nerds themselves. So it's not corporate bullshit. It's just like nerds. Okay, they make money with it. Of course, nobody's complaining about that, but it's from nerds for nerds. It's really nice. Yeah.
That's actually really interesting that you've been like having like a relatively offline life before you started the YouTube channel, because like that had to be kind of like a culture shock almost, because like having a YouTube channel, like being on the internet is one thing. Having a YouTube channel that gets a lot of interaction is a whole nother thing. Like the amount of like weird comments you'll get, like people like saying personal stuff or like like hate comments, stuff like that. Like it's just like a lot more than you would be used to otherwise, I would assume. Like how was that?
Not necessarily. As I've mentioned before, I worked at theaters for a very long time, and German speaking theater directors have a reputation that might fit a few cliches, let's put it this way.
Okay.
And this is a rough and toxic working environment, and everything after that, even on the internet, is like holidays.
It's easy if you just don't care. Like if you're someone who can just let stuff go, like you having a YouTube channel is not that bad.
I do care a lot, and I take critical comments very seriously. I've just become a thick-skinned bastard.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, it's not that like you can't engage with criticism, or like, you know, like you're not willing to hear it or whatever, because like sometimes there's criticism and sometimes there's somebody they just had a bad day, man. They're angry. They need to take it out on somebody. Like, just knowing when to like be like, okay, that, you know, that guy might have a point there, and then another one be like, okay, yeah, this is
just a little shout out to the great people watching my show. I have like the most awesome comment section in the world.
I do too. I also generally do. They're great. You guys are great out there.
Fantastic.
We're just sucking off our audience here. We're like, you guys are really good. Like, let me just give you a kiss. Like,
they're funny. They're well behaved. They don't troll more than necessary. Let's put it.
Man, my audience is kind of weird, man. Like, they will do some shit. Like, they're all over the place. Like, I don't know. I guess it's kind of a reflection of like the way you are, like as a content creator. I fucking hate that phrase, but like because usually like people are like, they will follow you or watch you because they resonate with what you're doing. Therefore, they like either, you know, it's relatable, you know, so like they might be similar in some ways. So you kind of like attract people that are like the way you present yourself. I was gonna say the way you are, but you know, the way you present yourself isn't always the way you are. Sorry, I had like a existential crisis there for a second. Are we ever gonna get an Ableton episode or Pro Tools episode?
The thing is that I personally hate Pro Tools so much that I don't want to take the deep dive.
Yeah, I have some nicknames for it. No Tools, Pro Stools. That's another one.
Yeah, I had to pass 2 Pro Tools editing exams, and I hated every single second of it.
That's funny because I did a college for audio engineering. I'm assuming you must have done something similar.
Yeah. I went to SAE. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, no, like I'd never liked Pro Tools. It always just felt like there was way too many ways to do the same thing, and then it's just really redundant. It can feel really redundant and cluttered, and like just like
the thing with Pro Tools is that I worked with a lot of people who are like Pro Tools natives, because it was in the 90s there was nothing else that would do the trick at that level of professionality, and the whole like combining mouse clicks with like pressing buttons on your keyboard, it gets so second nature and it is so streamlined that it is hard to get away from it. People trying to ditch Pro Tools because like the whole Avid thing, it went downhill since Avid took over, of course, and they just can't quit it because they can't establish a workflow as fast on any other DAW.
Also, just saying Reaper would also be a good one. That would be a good one too.
Oh, but I use Reaper like for all the voiceovers and stuff, and I used it a lot for like producing like real music, like not electronic one, but like other bands and like artists with like I did like on a Windows XP computer, I did like 160 tracks on Reaper like 20 years ago.
I've used Reaper like a little bit here and there for like some scripts just here and there, and one thing I've learned, there's like a certain type of person that uses Reaper, and I don't know, I can't really describe them, but they're like kind of like metalheads. I got a much better question here though. Have you thought about reviewing the MIDI gun? Do you know what the MIDI gun is?
I am aware of its existence, but I never took a deep dive, and I don't. Is it an actual product? I thought it was more like of a proof of concept.
Bro, this thing is crazy because it's like kind of from the way they do the demo and the video, they're like doing like a DJ mix with it, and it's so funny because like I just can't imagine somebody being on stage with this thing, like pointing it at the audience. Like this is like oh man, this is a lawsuit waiting to happen. I actually made a lot of jokes that is what happened and why this is like you can't get this now.
The thing is that this is again a cultural thing, because here in German-speaking countries, especially in Austria and Germany, there is a lot of like government money in like contemporary arts institutes of universities. So there are a lot of people who actually who need projects like this for the degree. For example, that's an Austrian invention from that time, the React table. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. It's like a table with sensors where you put objects, and these objects like in a way interact with each other.
So, man, I feel like these last questions are a little personal here. Yeah, I guess I was kind of like not sure if I wanted to ask them because I was like, is this too personal? Like, have you been making has this become like your like living?
Yes, yeah. I broke even after half a year. I took this very seriously, and I have a confession to make. I went to business school a few years.
Oh, you also went to business school.
Yeah. So the thing is, it's not getting me rich. It pays my bills.
Yeah, that's you kind of beat me to it here. I was gonna ask you, did you ever think that you could review bad synthesizers for a living? Not even bad, but
no. The thing is that I had like a proper job in 2019, and I quit that job because it was boring me to death. And then I already had like the idea of bad gear in my head, but I didn't take it that seriously, as seriously as I do now, of course. And here in Austria, if you are unemployed, you can ask for like they pay your bills for like the first few months of being a founder. And I bullshitted a business plan back then for the government, and it just realized itself. It just came true. It was complete pipe dream, and even like I did projections of like income and stuff, and even that was like more or less spot on. And it was more or less fueled by the whole pandemic thing, because there was nothing else to do. I had like that YouTube channel already as an idea, and I started like 3 weeks before like the first lockdowns were enforced, and then there was nothing else to do when I just
I heard that randomly from someone in my chat before. So I don't even know where they learned that from. You must have said that in some video or something, and they.
Maybe on I'm pretty sure I told the story on Gas Williams channels and on the Sonic State channel. So it definitely pays my bills. It took me half a year to get my costs covered, and this was like the time that I got the support from the government, and then it grew steadily until I was able to pay my bills.
Nice. Okay, I've gone through all my questions. I'm surprised it took this long. Like I thought I was gonna like run out in like 15 minutes and be like, oh, I don't know what to talk about now. But yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, again, this is Bad Gear, this is AUDIOPILZ, the creator of Bad Gear. He has a great channel. I will link it in the description. Make sure to check it out if you have not. Do you have any parting words here?
Thanks for having me.
It's been great, man. It's been great.